Okay, I'm just gonna put this here.
Yeah, like literally only my boss will listen to this, and like I don't think she'll listen to
I mean,
anything,
well,
so
I-
don't like
Yeah, and then after I finish helping you, I'm gonna. You didn't? Did you print out the consent
I did,
forms?
but I left them at home, but I can reprint them here.
Okay, yeah. Or like after I get done, we can print consent forms.
When I'm doing
Okay.
it's on this final line.
Wait, why are
The
you
book
saying
doesn't
that?
have
Because I
line
put
one. If I reference
this
line
and then
one,
the conclusion.
would that be
I
like
put it
points
for
R?
R, and the book says
So-
has it for M.
So wait, for this part. So wait. Okay.
And then
Just like this. Just this part
Okay.
here.
So you don't need
and
this
then
side
F
line.
or R.
I mean, you can, and it's
This is just like the
not-
conclusion.
Yeah.
I
And then wait, you put it.
I put it for the R.
Oh no, that doesn't matter. Sorry, I just wish it was.
That's what I
No, that
said.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, he takes off for like
Okay, and then
really
the
things that not all of
conjunction
which I agree
elimination.
with. But think
I guess
of it
I'm
this way,
confused,
when you
like,
cite
why
two,
wouldn't I
you
use that
indirectly cite
here?
one, so it's like you're already citing one
Okay.
within that.
Like for
it's
M and
kind of like it makes sense, but like
Because your goal,
yeah,
your
like
conclusion here, your goal is to combine
yeah.
them.
So
So
I
you're
wouldn't
going
cite
to
one
be
in here,
introducing it to combine
but
them.
I don't think you're
This would be
technically
like
incorrect.
Okay.
um
I just don't want to get
like
points
working
off.
backwards. Like you're trying to conjunction introduction is when you're trying to like combine the premises
So,
or something to
what
get
else
like a
did you
bigger.
Want to ask about?
And conjunction elimination is when you're kind of like breaking it down into parts.
Okay.
So
Okay. For truth tables or just the definition? Okay.
It's impossible for the premises to be true and the conclusion false. Can it still be valid if
So
it's
see,
one
like-
premise is true and one
like for
premise is false?
elimination, like you start with this,
Yes.
and then you're trying to work down small.
Validity is not
So
so
like
much
you're eliminating
dependent
them
on
as
the
you go.
actual
So that's
truth
when you
of
use
the
the
argument.
elimination.
Oh,
But
I
like
see. Because
it's like a
this is the
hypothetical
conclusion
truth.
here.
So
right, so
rather
you
than
kind of know what you're going to be using by
if
what
they
the
were all
conclusion is. Like
true.
this is like big and
Would
combined,
the
so you're probably going to
conclusion
use
guaranteed to be
conjunction,
true as well?
introduction, and then
Like,
here it's just a single letter. So
An
you're
invalid
probably gonna
argument
use
means that you can both have
Will
the
you have-
conclusion
are
false
there
and the
times where you'll
premise
use
is
both
true
rules?
in a hypothetical.
There might be, yeah.
Like, it just
Okay.
really depends on the connection of the premises.
Yes, exactly. It's like it's
And that-
basically like as it would
That's like
say, like
this
the
one.
truth of the
We have
premises
both of them.
guarantees the truth.
Yeah,
of the
that would be an
conclusion.
example.
So like like some of the silly examples that are like really simple, but like they're
So do you
basically
see?
valid arguments.
Okay,
like,
so you have
all
this
cats
premise
are
and this
orange,
premise.
Bob
Right.
is a cat, therefore.
then-
Bob is orange.
So you see,
there
like
would
in
not be any
the
way
conclusion,
for, like,
you need M by
That
itself.
can actually be true.
So
I mean,
and like
when
for
you're
these,
trying to
I mean,
separate it
not all
from
cats are orange. Maybe
PQ.
Bob's
Yeah.
a cat.
So you would use
Who
elimination
knows?
rather.
so
And
you
maybe
yeah,
he
so you
is
use
orange,
elimination
but like in a
because you don't need
hypothetical
S
sense,
in
if
your
it was
conclusion.
true that all cats
So you need
were
to like
orange
get rid of
and
it.
that
So
Bob
then
is
you
a
would
cat,
use
there's no
separating.
way for
Yeah,
Bob
so
on
you
that
separate
side.
it out. So sometimes
Right.
these are
Like
like you
that's
have
the
to like
like the
deconstruct
if
them
those
and then like
premises are true,
reconstruct
then
them.
that would
So
guarantee
like here
the
you would
conclusion.
get rid of the
If it was
M,
if the conclusion was
or
something
get rid
like
of the S
Bob is
and leave the
brown,
M by itself,
that
and
would be
then
invalid
combine
because
it
the
with this
premises
PQ.
don't really connect to the
Right. So
guarantee. And some of them you'll encounter that
Oh,
are
and
a little
because
bit
and
more
since
like
you're
confusing,
combining,
or like
you
some
would use
cats
Yeah.
are
introduction,
orange.
but then
But
you're
then if
separating,
the
so you would
conclusion
Yeah.
was like, and then
So,
Bob
like,
is a cat, therefore Bob
generally
is
not
orange,
always, but
that doesn't
like
guarantee it because only some
when you
cats
have
are orange.
That would
this,
be invalid.
always when you have
What about this one? It says all dogs are omnivores.
conditional
Some dogs are not
or
omnivores.
conjunction
So
introduction,
fish
you're
don't-
gonna have at least one
Okay,
conjunction like in
so
this
this
side
one-
of it.
oh, yeah,
but
that
this
one's
one
kind
like
of
you're either
weird
gonna have none
because
or like maybe one less or something.
valid
Like,
arguments.
this is getting rid
it's
of
sort
them,
of like
whereas this is
this is the
combining,
contradiction
yeah.
thing he was talking about, where it was like
Okay, I'll probably do a couple
if
more.
you have
Yeah,
if
and
your
then
premises are contradictory, like that it's technically valid because like it doesn't matter like what the conclusion is. It's just like all the both of the premises can't be true at the same time. And like to have an invalid argument, it has to be possible for all the premises to be true at the same time. If they can't be true at the same time, then it's impossible to kind of fulfill the rule of what an invalid argument is, and therefore it is valid by default, which is really roundabout, and you won't deal with that a lot in the future, but it is something that
So invalid and valid aren't necessarily opposites. Like invalid has more.
It's basically like what an invalid argument is kind of like it's very broad in nature in terms of like, it's kind of hard to phrase, but like basically you can have a lot of different kinds of valid arguments.
I would guess that your test is going to be more about
proofs.
proving things like
And truth
there's
tables.
invalid rather than valid, which invalid is ultra and false component.
Right.
So valid, it's basically going to be that it's not all true premises and a false conclusion, rather than like going through all like the different like conceptions of valid. It's probably just going to be that it's not invalid.
Valid has to have, or invalid is all true premises and false premises.
And false.
Yeah. I mean, you might encounter, like, they might ask if, like, something is a contradiction. So, like, if you had premises that were, like, Bob is a dog and Bob is not his dog, then that's a contradiction because they both can't be true at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
Things like that.
Okay.
And, yeah, that is kind of weird that if it's, like, the premises are, like, are inconsistent, it's automatically valid. It's kind of, like, not a loophole per se, but, like, you don't use it often in arguments because you wouldn't start off an argument with saying, like, this is true, but this is also not true.
Right.
But it is kind of like to sort of clarify the definitions of, like, validity.
Okay. For
And then also,
deciding whether
it says if the premises are true, so is the conclusion. Can a statement be valid if both premises are false and the conclusion is false?
Yes, that can technically be valid
For elimination
because,
or-
like I said, it's
in
not
some
the
cases,
actual
both
truth
things.
value of it, it's the
but, like-
hypothetical truth value. So, like, even if it's something really silly like the moon, or what, the moon has
Okay, so
feet,
this one,
all things with feet
your integral
are
is like W,
blue,
W and R.
therefore the moon is
And you're
blue.
given
Like,
Valid.
P
that's
or
valid.
W.
None of those premises or conclusions are true.
And then
So
what?
then,
But
can anything
valid.
be
Well,
invalid?
you can't really-
Like, because invalid is true premises
Do you
and a
wanna
false
just write it
conclusion.
out?
Are there any other instances when it's like invalid?
Okay. Wait, like what exactly is invalid? So, like, a true, like,
Because it's like true premises and a false conclusion.
well, it's
So can it be invalid if it's like a false premise and a true conclusion?
no, not exactly, because an argument being invalid depends on the possibility of it being false. So it was kind of like when you were doing truth tables for finding whether an argument was valid or not, and that shortcut that he used where it's like you find the conclusion first. If the conclusion is true, it does not matter really what the premises are because that's not what matters in validity. What matters is the truth of the premises or the falsity of the conclusion.
So pretty much if it asks like is something valid, like it will be valid as long as the conclusion is not false and the premises are true.
Sort of.
You're given
It's more like so like if
and R.
it asks like if an English argument is valid, look for like how the premises and the conclusion relate to each other. So something something that's like technically sort of true, that like something that we use every day. So like every day the sun has risen in my life so far. Therefore tomorrow the sun will rise. That's technically an invalid argument because the premise doesn't guarantee the conclusion. Lots of things could happen. The sun doesn't necessarily have to rise tomorrow just because that would be invalid. So like basically watch out, like usually valid arguments will have something that's very all-encompassing. So usually you will have something like all dogs are this, and then Jerry's a dog, therefore Jerry is this, or
But they're given to you.
if Bob goes to the party, then Jenny will go to the party. Bob goes to the party, therefore Jenny will go to the party. Like literally, like really, they're usually relatively simple in English. In logic, it will. You usually just see how like sort of the letters connect to each other.
Or like P
And then for these, does it matter which way you write it? Because like you gave us like the both options, but like does it matter?
I will wear neither. Yes, this kind of matters because they're both like saying different things. So like understanding this is like saying I'm not going to do either of these. Like they neither like yeah, like basically a person is like, I'm not going to wear a jacket and I'm not going to wear a sweater. And this one's, I'm not going to wear both a jacket and a sweater. They might wear one of them.
Doesn't this say I'm not going to wear a jacket or I'm not going to wear a sweater?
This is more like neither. So like if usually when you say neither, it's something along the lines of
You can do that all
like
in one set
I'm not
say
going to
line
do
two,
either
line
of
three,
those
line
things.
one.
Okay.
So you're not going to do both of them
So
basically.
then, whenever I see neither, I could just put an and sign and put negation in front of both of them.
Yes, that's probably, yeah, you can do that. And like, or you can think of it as not either and just, it's like not
like I said,
or.
like, you can combine any of the
Usually,
above
yeah,
ones.
if you see neither nor, it's going to be like these.
Okay, and then for both would just be or.
The two lines.
Yeah, usually it will be the not or not. Because usually what it means is that like, if it's like, I won't do both of these things, it leaves the room of like being able to do one of those things.
Or lines one,
So,
lines four.
Yeah, looking out for neither nor is a good thing. And then when you translate that, if you ever see like not or, it's going to be neither nor, and if you see not and, it's going to be not both.
Okay.
I got to do like an elimination one alone.
So if I study like the notes and the quizzes, that should be fine.
I think if you study the notes and the quizzes and your homework,
Okay.
you should pretty much be fine.
Because it's like the quizzes have gotten A's on both, so they're not too hard, so it's not like that.
They're not usually super hard. The only thing I can imagine trouble coming up is just because like you haven't really had a quiz about proofs and stuff.
Sometimes you just kind of have to like look at the problem, but like if it's a small conclusion,
yeah,
like, this is L and
yeah, if you feel like you're not really having a lot of trouble
lot
with
of
the
times you have to,
material
like,
and the homework and
kind
the
of, like,
quizzes, you should be
deconstruct
fine.
it.
I mean, the
And then,
proofs
like,
were the
put it
only
back
thing I had a
together
problem with, but like here I've done like 12, so now I feel
Yeah.
Conjunction.
Also, like the proof rules right now are just like
sometimes you have
pretty
to like,
easy,
use,
since,
like,
especially since you're not doing the
this,
conditional
like, has some of
introduction,
the
because that was
elements you
weird.
need, like,
I'm not gonna lie, that
you
was
don't want
weird.
them combined with
We did
this.
it differently, and
So
I
you
know
would use
how it works,
conjunction,
but like it is kind of a weird
elimination.
rule to learn.
it's just gonna be those three.
Separate off the
Yeah,
F.
it's just gonna be conditional
And you can have
elimination
more
and
steps than you need. So like, if
what
it
is
would
it?
help you,
Conjunction,
you could just, like,
introduction,
get those all down
elimination.
to
And those are
their
like
elements,
relative. Those are really simple. It's
you could
usually it's
use,
like really
say, F
it's the
and
logic
then
of if
cite,
then and like having one.
With the proof, you always have to start with the first line, right? Like,
Yeah.
because even so, I'd have to separate A and then separate C.
And that looks
Yep.
like
That's
it's
it.
like
So no matter
I
what,
mean,
you always have to
that
start with
there
the
probably
first
wouldn't
line.
be
Well, I mean,
harder.
well, I guess it's not necessarily true. Like in terms of like once you've written all the propositions out, you have to start with the first line. But like whatever makes sense for you. So like in this case, since the conclusion is that you need that you need A and C and E. Yeah, separating A out first is good, and then separating out C, and then separating out E, and then combining them kind of like all together in a way that makes sense for you is a good idea.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like you could have started this out backwards. You could have like separated E, C, then A, and then combined like
We want to get
C and E. Also, good job on like combining C and E first, because like that's a
there's that side. Okay.
that's kind of like that's like a really nitpicky thing of logic, is that like you have to like copy exactly the order of things. So like the example where C and A is not the same as
Well,
A and
this
C,
is-
like logically it
this
kind
is,
of
like,
is, but
one-
you have to like sort of work your way through explaining
So
that.
for this one, see, A is not.
Yeah, can I just ask you about?
Yeah, sorry, I'm hogging you.
Oh, that's
Totally.
okay. Just like
For
Yeah. What? Oh, okay.
For this one,
okay,
since
so
like
for
A
this
is
one,
not in the conclusion,
them first,
but you still have to like separate it first because you need to eventually get to C. So you have to separate A, you have
Yeah.
to separate C.
Oh
you have
wait,
to
yes.
separate F.
Why did I read that as
okay,
A and C and
sometimes
E?
they give you extra
I don't-
premises
This is a different
that
one.
you need
Oh,
to
okay.
kinda, like,
I was like
teach you.
worried I was hallucinating there for
So
a
like,
second.
here
But yeah, no, this is good because yeah, you do need to separate.
the variable Q
um,
meters in your conclusion. So like you
Yeah, yeah, you would need to separate A, and then be like, according to 2 and.
Even though it's not in the conclusion, you still have to separate it to get to C. You can't just
Oh, yeah.
start by separating C.
Yeah, you can't do that yet. You have to show that like thinking that okay, I need C, so how am I going to get C? Well, I need A, so you start with A.
Okay.
If you don't need a premise,
That's a good way to kind of like look at it if you're not sure. It's kind of like, what do I need to address first in order to get like a result.
Okay. And then if this was like B to B then C, I'd still have to separate it, right?
You'd have
But I
to
could
separate it.
B.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it, like if it was A and B then C, then you wouldn't have to separate it because
Then I
it'd
would
be
just
like
take the C and I can do like elimination, conditional elimination.
yeah. If it was A and B then C, then it would just be like it's already there and it's full unit as need be.
Yeah.
But if it was like that, like A and B then C, would I have to take out the A and the B, or can I just do C1 conditional elimination?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
it. The only thing is, so like if, let's say hypothetically it was weird and it was like B and A, then C
You can just
was
cite,
like
three.
this part right here, but you're only given A and B. What you would have to do is that you would have to separate them out and then
put them in
recombine
order.
them, and then it's like really roundabout, but like that's how it is.
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Could you like wait here for a moment? I'm gonna print out the consent forms really quickly.
We skipped over chapter 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to, like the trees. Yeah, won't be on there.
So it's L and line 4 and 5. Elimination.
But it's not elimination this time.
Oh.
It's,
Combination.
yeah, so it's I. Yeah. And I don't think they'll be like harder than this on the test,
Okay.
where you're like combining different.
Right. I haven't done conditional elimination.
Okay, we can work on that now. But do you kind of like get this?
No, yeah, I
Okay.
do now.
And you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you have?
Okay, a tautology is when like everything is true, right?
Yes, like everything in the.
So like one line is all true.
Well, it's not the one line is all true, but it's like all of like the like all your final answers like under the main operator is all true. So like,
Okay, so the main operator.
yeah, and then if there's just like one line that's all true, that's when it's consistent. Like, and consistent is like two premises. Like it'll give you two premises, and then like you'll do the truth table for both of them, and then if there's one line where they're both true, then it's consistent. And if like there's never a line where they're both true, like it might be like true false, like false false, like then that's inconsistent.
For things like this, when it's like A and C, does it matter which one you put first in the truth table?
Here, no.
Will it? Are there situations where it matters?
No, because I mean usually it's like people just do it like in order, but they're different. It doesn't matter because you're gonna get the same answer. It's just a different way of setting it up, and that doesn't matter, and they won't take off for that because there really isn't like a right way. Like it's just like a preference thing. Yeah. So and then equivalent is just they all match. Like it doesn't matter if they're true or false. They just like have to match with each other.
The rows.
The rows, yeah. The final under the main operator, that has to match. So like true, true, false, 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 true, true. And then if it's like different, like if this, like even just one, like if that was true instead of false, then it's contingent. So you have to know tautology, contradiction, which is when they're all false. So it's the opposite of tautology.
Right.
Contingency and equivalency.
Does it matter, like, for these, it's under the main operator and I just, like, put it all together?
That's fine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like if you do, I mean, this is fine because they're so small, but like if you were to write it, like some girl came in with homework and like she had written like everything the same letter and then just that was under the main operator but didn't like circle or anything. So like if like you wouldn't be able to, like this you can clearly tell like which one is like the final one, but if not, just like circle it or something.
Okay.
Is this the homework number 5?
Yeah.
Can I look at yours?
Yeah.
So I got these 2 wrong. 8. C8 inconsistent. So I just like, what did I do? Why did I do this?
Wait, is this someone else's?
This is mine and this is hers.
Oh, okay. And you have not equivalent. Did it ask for whether or not it was consistent?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I just like
So
the
maybe
directions
that's
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have true. Oh, she has false there. Oh no, she has false. You have. Wait, these are different.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it was. This is C. Here we go. This is what we're looking at.
Oh, okay.
Alright, sorry for that. Printer was being a butthead.
Sorry, you trying to leave?
No. Are we allowed to sign as witnesses? I don't know, they can sign for each other as witnesses, I guess.
Oh yeah, does it need a...
It just says like signature and then it says witness at the bottom, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, I guess just sign.
for each other.
Yeah.
Do we have to do all this information?
I think so, yeah. And they probably, I think they want it to be like your home address.
Oh,
Probably.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Probably not like super like matters, but like I don't know. That's like what I would
They're
assume.
gonna send you anything there.
Yeah, I think they just like want contact information, but like if you put down your phone and your email. Just legal stuff we have to take care of. Yeah, and you can just sign for each other's witnesses. Let's see. Oh wait, this one didn't get signed yet. Annabelle?
me.
Okay. Yep, this is good. This is good. And if you don't have any more questions, y'all are free. Good luck on the midterm tomorrow.
What did I do? Oh, I have a question. I saw like old quizzes from last semester, and he used the like little loop.
For what?
Like-
The
It was like I think it was just for the like up for the conjunction. He used like a little.
up arrow? Oh, you might have. That might be just like. Was it for conditional?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think it was just
don't.
for conditional.
Yeah, don't worry about that because that's like because last semester we used like a bunch of old symbols like that are different from
Yeah.
the books, and so like the conditional introduction that you just learned, we learned as conditional proofs, and it was formatted differently. Like the principle at heart is the same thing, but like it was differently.
But last year he used a different book, which is like the book that we used, and like all the symbols are different.
Yeah.
And like the way you like do proofs is like it's like
Slightly
basically the
different.
same, but like all the symbols are different. So
And a
Yeah,
little
the
bit of the
symbols were, like,
formatting
yeah,
is different. So like don't worry too much about that. Like basically like go by what he's teaching you right now for this semester just because he's changed books from like last semester. But like basically like the underlying principles are the same. And don't worry too much about conditional introduction right now, since that's not going to be on the midterm, and he'll probably like go more into detail.
Wait, for proofs?
For proofs, he's not gonna. No, we're not. He said that conditional introductions are not on the midterm.
No,
It's just conditional it's just conditional elimination, conjunction elimination, and conjunction.
So the arrow I, the arrow E, and then conditional introduction.
Wait,
Or conditional elimination, not introduction.
Okay.
yeah, it's like pretty simple operators
where's this
and
in the-
rules. So like
Yeah, we have like two
yeah.
main rules for proofs.
Here, you can. Sorry.
You don't have to accept proofs.
no, we're not. No, we don't have to. You don't have to do subproofs yet. That'll probably come up like more on Friday, and you'll probably do more examples of that later in the year. But like once you get it down, it's pretty easy.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Good luck tomorrow.
No problem. If you have any more questions, like small things, you can email one of us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, see you guys. The pairs are equivalent. Okay,
So I just
I
put the wrong-
think you got confused because like it's P then R, and I think you did R then P because that's what all your values are for. And so if you switch them and do like if true then true, true, if false then true, true, if
Okay.
true then false, false.
Okay, that's a silly
and then and then if you do that, true, 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 false, false, true, true. So it is equivalent.
Okay.
So I think I like all your values are right if you're doing if P or if R then P, which is how it's there. So I think that's what you did.
I just switched them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like double check stuff like that.
Right.
And especially like R and P, they're like look,
alike
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure that's what it was.
I don't want to keep you guys.
No,
it's
we're
fine.
Yeah, we're here till 6.
And I can stay like after because I can.
Well, I just want to go over the conditional elimination because I haven't looked at that yet. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I think I'm good. Let's see what page that is on. 160. Conditional elimination. We're not going to be doing conditional introduction though.
No.
No.
Yeah, so don't worry about that one.
Okay. So biggest difference.
The idea behind this one is if you're given like an if-then statement, like if P then Q, in one of your premises, if like that's one of your premises, and then you're also given say P, then you know like Q would also like you can derive Q from that.
Okay.
So it's like if it gives you an if-then statement, like if P then Q, and then the if portion, the P, you can get Q.
Okay.
So, do you kind of see how that works? Like, if P then Q, then you're given this. So then you can eliminate this and just get the Q.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I try that in a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
So for this one,
Mhm.
A then B. A, B then C. C then D, and you want to get D. So then A then B. So,
think it's
you pretty much, okay, so like, I get like everything you do. Right, I don't know. What would you do first?
Okay, so your end goal is D.
Right.
Okay, this is like kind of a complex one. So like, if you get this one, like they're all going to be like this would be like, I feel like the hardest type of form that you would get, like using different ones. So
Should we start with an easier one?
no, because this will be good. We can just work through this one, and then it's just combining like kind of 2 in 1.
Okay.
So you're given. Do you remember what the conditional elimination, what you need for it? You need like.
No.
You need like this whole thing, like an if-then statement, and then you need the first part.
Okay.
So if you have if A then B, and you have A, then what can you prove?
B.
Right.
Okay.
So, right, like you can prove B,
So B,
and then how would you?
line 1 and line 2.
And then
How's the symbol for this?
it's the arrow here. Yeah.
And then, so that gets rid of this and that. And then B and C.
So now that you have B, what can you do?
You can get rid of C. So then C. Would you say line 1, line 2, and then line?
You don't need line 1 and line 2. You just need
Line 4
Yeah, line
or line 3?
yeah, line 3, and then
Line 5. Okay. And then all you have left is C. And then and you have D. And this is line 6. Or,
yeah, that's
line 4 and line 6. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So you're trying to get how that
Yeah.
all works?
Yeah. Okay. Good. I don't know why I just checked out in this lesson.
No,
But-
this step, it's like, some of it is hard to conceptualize.
Right.
It's a very different from other stuff you've done in school, so it's hard to
Right.
wrap your brain around it sometimes.
Right. Let's see if there's something else. Alrighty. I think I'm good.
Okay, and then you can email either of us if
Okay.
you're looking through the study guide and you have a question or something.
Cool. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
No problem.
It's super helpful. Y'all just stay here till 6. What time is it? 5:30.
Yeah,
So you didn't keep us over at all.
you're fine.
How did you guys, did they reach out to you to have you guys do this, or?
They sent emails and then you interviewed.
Yeah,
So it's
you applied and you
kind of both,
interviewed.
I guess they reached out, but then you had to it wasn't I don't know.
It wasn't like they chose you for the job. It was I think it was if you had a high enough GPA, I want to say.
Right.
Then
I don't know how it works.
I don't know, and then they would send emails to students hey, we're looking for peer educators, and
Yeah.
and
I
then you had to
had-
apply.
Yeah, and we both took it last semester.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this will not be my calling. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah, that should be fine. How was the past hour?
It was good. It was busy.
I saw it when I walked in. I was where's Sadie? And it was like, oh, she's with like 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what we expected. I'm glad that it wasn't so bad that like he had to move to a classroom.
No, it was like I think it was like 6 or I think someone or no, maybe it was just I don't know. But they kind of like fed off each other and like
that's good.
We're like answering each other's questions for some part or like helping each other do proofs. So
that's
good.
Well. Yeah. I mean, like I figure like probably most people have like the same kind of issues
that's
with the
what
material.
It was. So I would like explain something to one person, like a specific question, and then like everyone else would kind of like also kind of have that question, so they would just listen in, and then it worked out good.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, no, because it's like pretty much the complex parts.
I think
we haven't.
I think we'll start having bigger sessions once like the proof step starts because
and especially like once you get into predicate logic. But yeah, the midterm from the looks of it shouldn't be too hard.
No, it seems like
his tests are never I don't remember his tests being like particularly hard. Maybe like a bit time consuming if you were doing like a really big truth table or complicated proof, but not like hard.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get anyone else. I feel like the rush was like already started.
Yeah, kind of from the looks of it. I mean, there might be someone who will come in, but probably by like 10 till. It's probably like if like no one else is by then, it probably means like okay.
Yeah.
Still though, I think we got a good recording of like a good amount of people there and being helped.
Yeah, I think we did too. And if she like wants a full session, we can always just like. I feel like our sessions should start to increase now that it's getting more difficult, so we could just redo it. I didn't know if I should start it or not because I didn't know if she wanted like both of us to be there, or.
I think it's just kind of weird because both of us are here, and usually like most of the SIs are like doing it solo. I think actually we're the only ones doing one together, or the first ones, and only.
Yeah. Well, and ours is more like individual tutoring in like a group session more than like a lecture.
Yeah, we just don't have like that many students who like
which is
come in at once
to record than like
because then you're kind of
lecture presentation.
Yeah, because then you're just kind of like talking all over each other.
Yeah,
but like it is a technique that happens. It's just kind of like I don't really know how to show this because it's just like whoever comes in with whatever question they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like basically like your SI methods are like very different if you have to like go to a separate classroom and like prepare a PowerPoint or like do things on the board for other students versus like kind of wait for anybody to come in with whatever questions they have. Yeah.
There's no reason for us to go to the essay class tomorrow, is there? Probably
no,
not.
I asked him and he was like, unless you want to take the midterm tomorrow. I was like, no. So that just means we have our con midterm tomorrow, or exam.
Yeah, I need to study for that.
It shouldn't be too hard. It just seems like there's a lot more material to cover.
Yeah, I haven't looked over my notes yet.
Yeah.
If they had the same thing,
Should we stop recording?
Yeah, I think we're good.